Conor McGregor is stepping back into the octagon after 5 long years away, and the man he's chosen to settle the score with is Max Holloway. UFC 329 lands on July 11th at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. And this isn't just another comeback fight. This is personal. Back in 2013, McGregor beat Holloway at featherweight in what was one of his first statement wins inside the UFC. Now, over a decade later, the two are running it back, except this time they're doing it at welterweight, a completely different weight class, a completely different chapter for both men. 5 years is an eternity in this sport. Fighters retire, get injured, lose their step, or simply fade from relevance in half that time. But McGregor isn't walking in quietly. Reports out of his camp and recent interviews show him carrying the same swagger, the same brash confidence that made him the biggest star this sport has ever produced. The question everyone wants answered is simple. Can that confidence translate into a win against a version of Max Holloway, who has spent the last 5 years proving he's one of the most durable, most skilled strikers on the entire roster? Former UFC welterweight champion Tyron Woodley weighed in on the matchup, and his breakdown cuts right to the core of what this fight actually comes down to. Woodley believes McGregor does have a path to victory, but it's a narrow one. According to Woodley, if McGregor can push forward early, get inside Holloway's head, land some clean shots, and frustrate him out of his rhythm, that's when McGregor gives himself a real chance. But Woodley was quick to point out that Holloway isn't walking into this fight without his own massive advantages. Holloway's toughness has never been in question. His cardio is elite, arguably the best in the division, and his skill set has only sharpened with time. Woodley put it plainly. Holloway looks like he belongs in that cage no matter who's standing across from him. When it came down to picking a winner, Woodley didn't hesitate. He's siding with Holloway, and he's not alone. The odds makers have installed Holloway as a moderate favorite heading in a fight week, and Woodley believes that line reflects reality. But what made his commentary stand out wasn't just the pick. It was what he said should happen behind the scenes in McGregor's camp leading up to fight night. Woodley referenced comments McGregor made about training with Ilia Topuria and used that as a jumping-off point to explain what he thinks McGregor's camp is missing. His message was blunt. If you're only training with people who can't beat you, you're not actually improving. Woodley explained that real growth comes from pressure, from being in the room with hungry, dangerous fighters who force you to level up every single day. He even brought up an old idea about putting real money on the line, offering a cash incentive to any training partner who could actually knock him out, just to guarantee genuine competitive intensity in every session. Woodley said he agrees completely with that mentality. You need people pushing you, testing you, not patting your ego. That's the layer of this story that makes it so much bigger than just a rematch. This isn't only about whether McGregor still has the skills after 5 years off. It's about whether his preparation, his training environment, and his mindset heading into fight week actually match the level of opponent standing across from him. Holloway isn't the same featherweight McGregor beat back in 2013. This version of Holloway has fought at the highest levels of multiple weight classes, has gone through wars against the best strikers in UFC history, and has built a reputation as one of the toughest outs in the entire promotion. He doesn't back down, he doesn't fade, and he pushes a pace that has broken other elite fighters in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th rounds. For McGregor, the layoff adds even more uncertainty. Ring rust is real, and 5 years is longer than almost any successful comeback in UFC history. But McGregor has always thrived on chaos and belief in his own power, both literally and mentally. The question Woodley raised isn't really about talent, it's about readiness. Has McGregor built himself into someone who's sharp enough to deal with the pressure Holloway is going to bring for 25 straight minutes? Or will years away from meaningful, high-level sparring leave him exposed the moment things get difficult? There's also the storyline of legacy sitting underneath all of this. A win here doesn't just settle the first fight from over a decade ago. It reshapes how people talk about McGregor's entire career going forward. A loss, on the other hand, raises even more questions about whether this comeback should have happened at all. For Holloway, This fight is a chance to add another massive name to his resume and prove that even against one of the biggest stars in combat sports history, his consistency and skill can carry him through. Fight week is going to bring even more attention to every training clip, every interview, and every piece of information that leaks out about how seriously McGregor is preparing. Woodley's comments have already added fuel to that conversation, putting a spotlight on exactly what kind of camp McGregor needs in order to have a real chance on July 11th. As the countdown to UFC 329 continues, all eyes are on Las Vegas, where two completely different careers are about to collide once again, more than a decade after their first meeting. One man is chasing redemption and proving the doubters wrong. The other is trying to defend his position as one of the most reliable, most dangerous competitors in the entire welterweight conversation. Whatever happens inside that octagon at T-Mobile Arena, this rematch is shaping up to be one of the most talked about moments of the entire year in the sport.